warm welcome to today's edition of Money Moves. I am Melissa Enoch here at the FMDQ studios in Lagos.
And I am Grace Agbarago. It's Thursday, the 5th of February. We thank you for joining us at this time on the show.
All right, let's tee off with your news now. ArcelorMittal South Africa cuts full-year loss by 34%, benefiting from lower raw material cost and long steel closure. The company reported a headline loss of 3.355 billion rand, that is $280 million, for the year ended December 2025, down from 5.1 billion rand in 2024. Crude steel production and sales fell 12% to 2.3 million metric tons and 2 million metric tons, respectively, with realized steel prices 5% lower in rand terms. The closure of loss-making long steel plants neutralized their previous impact on EBITDA, helping the business stabilize despite challenges from weak local demand, high electricity costs, and import competition. Meanwhile, cryptocurrency hacks and fraud surge in January 2026. Losses exceed $370 million. Cybersecurity firms report a rise in attacks targeting crypto platforms and users, heightening risks for investors and service providers. Blockchain security firm PeckShield recorded 16 hacks globally in January, resulting in $86.01 million in losses, led by incidents at Swapnet, the Mithril trading bot, and Makinafi protocol involving Ethereum and US dollars. Web3 security firm Certic estimated total losses from hacks and fraudulent schemes at over $370 million, the highest monthly figure in the past 11 months, despite a slight year-on-year decline from January 2025. In North Africa, policymakers and economic leaders are examining how deeper regional integration can unlock growth across North Africa. Let's now listen to IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva as she highlights key policy priorities to advance economic cooperation and cross-regional connectivity.
North Africa presents a tremendous opportunity by its God-given geographic location. It is a natural bridge between Europe and the rest of the continent. It is where trade and integration have enormous potential. Of course, the region has already developed a history of economic links and trade routes. Investment flows are not new. What is new is that the role of this integration becomes even more important. And I want to recognize in particular the signing of Africa's Continental Free Trade Area Agreement as one of the drivers of integration on the continent and positioning the continent for a bigger role, not only for its own people, but across with Europe. So what is my message to you? My message is supercharge this integration. Today, Europe is looking to expand its trade partnerships. Sub-Saharan Africa is looking for avenues to tap the potential of its vast resources and its people. And North Africa offers plenty of opportunities for investment and partnership. Think of the manufacturing hubs that source raw materials or intermediary goods from Sub-Saharan Africa.
In other news, Varun Beverages Limited has announced a major expansion of its food and beverage portfolio in Zimbabwe, strengthening its FMCG presence. The company has commissioned a new snacks manufacturing facility and has begun producing soft extruded snacks under PepsiCo's Cheetos brand. In other news, Africa is in focus at the World Government Summit, with leaders from across the continent sharing perspectives on governance, economic reform, and global partnerships. Addressing the summit, Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa spoke on political stability, economic transformation, and Africa's place in a rapidly changing global order. Here are excerpts.
With most of our development thrust was from the West. But as we evolved, we have also benefited from investment and cooperation from countries like China. I think the premises upon which you construct your question, I don't think is perfect.
Not surprised.
Yes, Zimbabwe is a sovereign state.
Yes.
You understand? And we move on the basis that gives us the best results of our resources. Whether it is relation with the West or the East, what is primarily important is what we ourselves as Zimbabweans are satisfied with. We don't need to please the West or please the East. We please ourselves.
Meanwhile, Ethio Telecom, Djibouti Telecom, and Sudan's Sudatel Group have signed an agreement to develop cross-border fiber corridor. The tripartite deal, formalized in Djibouti, will establish the Horizon Fiber Corridor, linking submarine cable landing stations in Djibouti through Ethiopia to Sudan. The initiative aims to provide a resilient, high-capacity route to enhance regional and international data connectivity. In other news, the AFCFTA Association of Commodities Exchanges, AACX, has appointed Satutsi Ivowi as Secretary General at a recent general meeting chaired by Zimbabwe Mercantile Exchange CEO Colin Tafumaneni. The association, which now comprises 18 member exchanges across Africa, reaffirmed its commitment to deepening intra-African trade, price transparency, and regional integration under the AFCFTA. The AACX also recently signed an MOU with the Association of Futures Markets, strengthening its international engagement. Finally, on News Now today, at the NGX Made of Africa Awards, speaking on enforcement and the importance of rewarding excellence, innovation, and best practices, Secretary Executive Commissioner Bola Ajomale emphasized the role of strong regulation in building market confidence. Let's listen.
We at the SEC are particularly proud of the NGX and of the member companies on the NGX and the operators, indeed of the capital market as a whole. From every part of the world, we hear reports of how our market is performing and how even some of the companies therein are performing in other parts of the world. We fully support the move of this economy towards even beyond the $1 trillion economy. However, we're not going to do it by doing the same things over and over again. Innovation is critical, and we encourage it. Transparency is absolutely essential. So innovate by all means, but be transparent about it. Dynamism is also critical, and recognizing all of those factors, you have an SEC that is fully in support and fully available to support you in your ventures. At the same time, of course, they say that enforcement is also critical, and we brought the IGT here today. So we are very, very looking forward to grabbing hold of a couple of people by the scruff of the neck and telling them they shouldn't be doing that. But in all, I would say have a wonderful afternoon, and congratulations to all the awardees, and good luck to the ones for next year.
I am Melissa Enoch, and that's it on News Now this Thursday. The show returns shortly with Grace at the FMDQ Archives Room, giving us all market updates.
South Africa's accession to the Africa Export-Import Bank affirms our commitment to African industrial development and to deepening trade, investment, and development across our continent. Once finalized, the South African Exim Bank country program will be operationalized with a finance package, as we had, that will initially support a range of strategic projects across the trade and industrial cluster. And you are correct in saying, Minister Tau, that when the issue came up, I asked, this is so logical. And I even asked, what took us so long? Because this is the family that we should have been part of from the get-go moment. The program will inject capital into priority industrial projects, export diversification, infrastructure development, and more importantly for us, transformative initiatives.
Welcome back to Money Moves. Let's now go over to Grace for today's market rounds. Hello there, Grace. How are the markets wrapping up today?
Thank you, Melissa. Starting with the equities, the NGX All-Share Index surged 1.18%, while the Barrow VM in Abidjan gained 0.29% to 368.85. The Nairobi Securities Exchange jumped 1.98% to 202.31. In South Africa, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange fell 2.30%, while in North Africa, Egypt's EGX 30 added 0.22%, and Morocco's MASI slipped 1.09%. Let's do a quick round on some of the Pan-African currencies. The rand strengthened 0.55% to 16.616 against the US dollar. The Egyptian pound edged up 0.17% to 46.97, while the CFA franc rose 0.22%. The Kenyan shilling inched up 0.02% to 129.01. The Moroccan dirham gained 0.16%, while the naira was little changed at 1,366 naira 63 kobo, as at 13:48 GMT. Let's switch into the commodities data deck, beginning with energy prices. Brent crude eased 2.07% to $68.02, while US WTI fell 2.18% to $63.69. Natural gas gained 1.07% to $3.50, and Arabian gasoline dropped 1.12% to $1.94 as at 13:38 GMT. Now, finally, two metals prices. Gold fell 1.47% to $4,877.80. Copper is 0.86%. Platinum tumbled 6.18%. Aluminium slipped 0.50% to $3,054.51, while iron ore was flat at $102.17 as at 13:39 GMT. And that's our Money Moves markets today. Back to you, Melissa.
Grace, thank you for those updates on how the markets wrapped up today. And that's it on today's edition of Money Moves. From me and the rest of the team here at the FMDQ studios, we say thank you very much for watching and bye for now.